these three headlines. First, Trump says he will restrict asylum claims. Troops will shoot at Rockefellers. Second, Maduro asks to create an airport for the return of Venezuelan immigrants. Third, I agree with torture, says Bolsonaro in a video. What do these three headlines have in common? Do they seem rational, argumentative claims, or they seem more passionate, appealing to emotions? Do they seem as a clear, viable solution, or they seem more like a first impression of any one of us for a first problem we see? Well, this is the basis of populism. An easy, intuitive, clear, and passionate way to answer to a question in order to win popularity among a group of people. Well, this has been happening all over the world, as we can see, and Colombia is not the exception. However, here it happens in a specific way, and that's what we call legislative populism. This is a practice in which politicians, in order to win our votes, they promise to convert a set of claims into norms exclusively based on its popularity among us. Now, this practice has been tremendously harmful for our country in different ways. Three main different ways. First, in the social field, second, in the legal field, and third, in the economic field. All of this responding to a major and a bigger illness from our public policies, and is the lack of previous studies to make them. Okay, so our first problem is in the social field, and here we witness a expectations versus reality dynamic. What happens? There is a problem. There comes the politician. He says he will solve it, and he promises a way to solve it, including new norms and new regulations he will manage. So people start to believe him, and it creates social expectations. But then these social expectations are frustrated. People are disappointed. Why? Because of the lack of studies I already mentioned. These policies just can't fully fill the expectations of what he promised. So it creates an idea, and he cannot then make it true, make it real. The second problem is about trust. Once people is disappointed, then they start to believe that law is useless. And then the institutions that make law, the lawmakers, starts to lose legitimacy. And not only them, but also the people who's related with them, like lawyers. Our last problem is in the economic file, and it's divided into main issues. The first, the Congress, and how he did not anticipate also economic and budgetary effects of these political decisions. We can see this in the last labor and pension reforms that were already approved in the Congress. They were harmful the budgetary effects they have because they did not have the studies, but they were tremendously popular. Why? Because of their targets. Women, workers, and retired people. They were pretty popular, that's true. However, the national general welfare, that was at a bottom point. The second one is the executive power. We tend to think that the only one who makes laws is the Congress, but that's not true. Executive power management of regulations has also been economically affecting us. To illustrate, let me talk you through this graphic. Here is Colombian position in a ranking that measures international competitiveness linked to regulations improvement. And here, these were the two worst categories of Colombia, and it's related with government's decision and government's transparency. He went on place 42 out of 60 countries. It was pretty bad. It was in the lower half. But what does that mean? Let's put that into perspective. When we see this decision making and this transparency all about how government is managing it, well, we know not only that they are doing bad at international competitiveness, but that they're also doing it bad because they're being negligent. Why? They're forgetting about three main steps of regulations improvement. First, they have to have evidence that supports the decision. Second, they have to have arguments that are political, legal, and economically grounded. And third, they forget about predictions. Finally, they're forgetting to answer a simple question. Why do you legislate the way you do it? If Colombian government is not able to answer that question, we will have impacts not only at a domestic level, but also at an external one. What can we do? Well, having in mind that our main issue is the lack of information, and given the fact that the most argued obstacle is always the cost, well, the solution I propose is then to find support in universities, just like this one. In here, there will be a kind of convention that is a possibility to students to take a class called Public Research Practice, in which they, according to their knowledge level, could help to create these databases, these researches in which institutions can lean on to create their policies. Which will be the benefits of that? Well, there are a lot. First, the student's experience, student acquiring new knowledge, then benefiting the universities. Second, the cost of the research will be lower than in investigation centers or research centers. Third, less sensationalistic claims from our politicians. Fourth, we will rationalize the production of norms, since every norm needs a background which they can stand on. Fifth, it will be more supported proposals, both in Congress and in the executive power. And then there will be a consciousness of problematics by the students, and thus we will finally could reduce politicians' populism. So we have the tools, of course we have the needs, and we have the people. The question is then, what are we waiting for?